Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
Hi everyone, how have you been? Happy holidays. I hope you have rested enough and still resting. Well, you're welcome once again to Life Essential Talk, your favorite talk show on Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. A program where we talk about marriage, where we talk about parenting, where we talk about family values and relationships as well as fundamental life issues. I am your host, Uche Chukwuma, and we have a whole lot to discuss today. Well, last week was beautiful. We had very engaging guests, and we spoke about intertribal marriage. We spoke about modeling good behaviors for your children. I hope you got something significant from those topics. I hope you really learned a lot. So if not, there's no need for us to be here. Well, today is a cool day with a cool topic and a cool guest. Well, our topic today is a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them. I know you've been wondering who is the guest, who is it? Well, cool down. I will tell you about the guest. I'll tell you who the guest is, who the beautiful guest is when we return in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Oh, beautiful song there by Selena Gomez. Well, let's dive right into our conversation. But first of all, I need to introduce my very beautiful guest. Mm. Now, my guest is, it's like talking like a teacher right now. She is a very lovely barrister, Ngozi Ochin. Barrister Ngozi Ochin is here to tell us all we know about a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them. She'll give us a first-hand experience. She will tell us everything about that. Well, Ngozi, Barrister Ngozi, so good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Good
Well,
evening.
good evening. I'm so excited. I know I'm going to hear a whole lot from you today. So, Barrister Ngozi, let's get down to business right now. Now, when you talk about a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them, we would love to have a clear definition of the words in this sentence. Let's try to help us to understand what harmony is, who is a parent, and who do we refer to as an adult child.
Okay, thank you very much. When I think of the word harmony, first and foremost, what comes to mind is harmony in terms of music.
Okay.
And when you're coming from that aspect, it's more or less like a combination of musical notes, which produces something very pleasant to the ear.
Okay.
Then bringing it down to what it could mean in normal parlance. Harmony just simply means an agreement,
Okay.
a concord, an understanding. And for you to use the word harmony, it means that there's definitely differences because if there are any differences, there wouldn't be the need for the word harmony.
Okay.
So that's the way I understand harmony. So it's more okay. Take for example, Nigeria being a multifarious society and all, you have different religions, different tribes. The fact that we need to live together is more or less like looking for harmony.
Okay.
So it means there are two conflicting positions. It doesn't necessarily mean that conflict in the sense of war or anything. It just means misunderstanding.
Okay.
So when I think of the word harmony, I'm just thinking peaceful cohabitation. That's the baseline of what harmony is.
Okay. All right.
Then, if I want to talk about the parents,
Uh-huh.
the parent is a father or a mother,
Yeah.
or basically anybody who has acted in that position for a child.
Yes.
Yes.
Like a caregiver.
A caregiver.
Okay.
It could even be a teacher who has impacted so much in your life, basically.
Yeah.
But it could even go down to aunties and uncles for those who were so unfortunate to have lost their biological parents.
Okay.
enough in
So
life
in this case, we can refer to them as a parent.
parents.
Okay.
And
Lovely.
coming down to the African philosophy is I am because we are. So it's more
Let me
like
get that again. What did you say?
the
Again?
African philosophy
Okay.
is I am because we are.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
Africa being the kind of society it is, like
Yes.
the entire society, the entire
Mhm,
community is
mhm.
raising a child.
Okay.
But for the basis of this our conversation, I would
Okay.
want to limit a parent to just a father and a
And
mother,
a
or for
mother.
someone who has acted in that position for
All
a
right.
child. Yeah.
Okay.
Then, if it's an adult child,
Mm.
I'm a lawyer, so
Okay.
if I'm coming from the aspect of the law, a child, an adult rather, is anyone who is 18 years and above. That's who, in the eyes of the law, a child is.
Okay.
But I would believe that for this, to the best of my understanding, for this our conversation, I could say adult children are those who have attained the minimum milestone, which is more or less graduating from the university.
Okay.
I would believe that that is where the serious issues begin to come up, because honestly speaking, children, or rather adults, let me not call them children, adults from maybe say 18 to
Okay.
24, 23,
Okay.
still in the university, still very much under the care and
Yeah, of
custody
the
of your parents.
parents.
Yes.
Yes.
But when you finish from the university and you've gone for NYSC and then you're coming back to the
To
house
stay with
to
your
stay,
parents.
that's when some eyebrows are beginning to raise. But I think that would be the definition I would go
Okay.
with.
All right. Okay. That's wonderful. So let's now go to this. Could problems arise between parents and their adult child, or the adult children still living with them? Could problems arise from that cohabitation?
Yes, I believe so. In fact, problems do arise.
Problems do
Yes.
arise. Okay, so can you help us to know these problems, to understand this problem that could arise due to that living together arrangement?
Okay.
Just like you said, an adult child who has finished university or has really grown up,
One of the basic
and who is expected to stay elsewhere but still living with his or her
parents.
parents. What kind of problems could arise?
All right. Okay. From my personal experience, because I would always speak from
Yeah,
my own
beautiful.
point
That's
of
what we
view.
want to hear.
Yes, I think the most basic thing is, aside from the fact that you're living at home, you're expected to do some certain things. Maybe, you know, take part in the bills, take part in the groceries. Your things will spoil in the house. You should be expected that, I've trained you in the university. Why would I still be paying plumber? Why would tire be flat and I'm still the one that is doing all that?
But you're not
But
working.
you're not working.
Okay, let's assume you're not working.
And
Or you could also be working but still living with
your
them.
parents, and
Yes,
it kind of puts you in a precarious position, because
exactly.
there are a lot of expenses you begin to cover for yourself. And when you okay, let me just digress a bit.
Okay.
So of recent, not too long ago, I was still job hunting, and about two interviews I had gone for, the highest paying I ever got was 40,000 naira. I was seeing how Nigeria is.
Wow.
You're thinking, oh, okay, electricity tariff is increasing. I went to the market yesterday. Tomato is a scarce commodity.
I'm telling you, it's scary.
At a point, I had to tell a friend of mine that if you visit somebody and they give you rice and stew, they see you as a king or a queen.
Oh
Because
my goodness.
it's so,
Oh my goodness, that means things are really bad.
things are really bad. And, it just, it's,
No, just say it.
it's,
Let it flow.
it's kind of, I won't say it's painful, because we know that we really wish to be financially independent.
Yeah.
But the way things are, I remember having a conversation with my dad. He's a blessed memory. That,
Okay.
Daddy, in your time, it's what you studied in university, you come out and work with. He was a medical doctor, and it was almost easy to get a job. My mom's a nurse.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
Every year, they call, about 5,000 people are called to that every year. And how many law firms are there to cater for
To cater for
us?
all.
They'll tell you, as a profession, it's not now. You will work and work and work. Then one big brief will come and set you up for life. It's not always that
It's
way.
true, I do hear that, really.
Yes.
I do hear that.
It's not always that way. And then there's some kids who, I don't want to call us kids, they're adults who really want to assist, who really want to help, but we just don't have that financial capacity yet. Aside from, paying, contributing to the bills and the likes, it could even be the kind of life one had developed in the university, which is not really at par with what your parents had put you through. It might not really be terrible or bad. It might just be that your ideals have kind of formed or they've kind of changed. I think that's also one of the aspects. And then even in terms of the kind of friends there's a way you're okay. You say
Okay.
show me your friend and I'll tell you who you
Who
are.
you are, yes.
Basically. And then you have a friend. You know who your friend is. Or maybe because of the way they appear, you judge a book by its cover and then you're
Okay.
like, oh, this friend, I don't want you to be keeping this friend. Don't have the and then it becomes an issue.
Okay, you mean from
From
parents
parents,
now,
yes.
from parents.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's
So
all
because you're still living with them, they feel they should detect it, they should tell you who to go
who to
out
go
with
out
and who
with,
not
who
to.
not to. And I think it still boils down to the fact that for us, when you're speaking for adult children, I think it gets to a point in our lives where it's almost as if we see our parents as consultants. You're no longer managers of our lives, you're now consultants. So it's
Okay.
more or less like, you know, you don't have entire control. At this point, we should be able to stand on our feet, make the mistakes we're going to make, learn from them, hoping that those mistakes are not permanent mistakes that you can't find a way back and then get back to the square one. So that's basically it. Even maybe down to house chores because the adult rather, is still in the house. He feels you should treat him in a certain way, but maybe you have a younger one who's doing assignment, should be the one to watch, but you say, no, go and sit down. This person is around and do the dishes.
Because you're there now,
You're there.
you're not doing anything. You have to.
So it's just a lot of fun, and it's the little things. It might not be something so big. It might not be something so nuanced to pronounce. Just the little, maybe the way you slammed the door on me when you saw me. Just you begin to build castles in your head, and sometimes it comes from a place of love. It's just for us to understand that they don't mean it that way. We're still their children, like they still love us, but sometimes you need to understand what I feel as well. Where I am, I'm not happy. I don't still want to be dependent on you at 26, at 27, at 28. It's difficult,
It is.
but we're trying. We really are trying. I understand that our society has almost is as if it's now short. Everybody's looking for the shortcut
To make things
to
work.
make things work, and it's not. In fact, let me not say it's not the best of it. It is not the way to go. It's not the path to toe. We're going to do illegal things. We're going to delve in drugs, yahoo yahoo, all those things. Those are not the way. That's not the way. There are still diligent things you could do. There's still honorable things you could do. You could start a business. You could even start your own, have your own startup, have your own company, float your own ideas. You could get investors, but in the end, these things are not still easy to get.
That's what I just want to say now. They're not
It's still
easy.
not easy to
It's
get.
better said than
Than
done.
done.
They're not easy. And for parents, it can also be frustrating. Not that they hate you or they dislike you, but just for the fact that you are in the house when you're supposed to be out there helping out, it can be really, really frustrating. Oh well, before we go on, let's take this musical break, and when we return, we'll talk more about the problems that could arise from this cohabitation. Don't go anywhere. Oh, dear listeners, I love that song. Hear more. Oh, let me not digress. Well, welcome back to Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. We're still on Life Essential Talk, still talking about a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them. Now, Barrister Ngozi, I'm sure you still have a whole lot of problems that could arise from this living together arrangement. So let's hear more of these problems.
I think another one which is I think the most key is when parents begin to compare their children with other people. So maybe they have Mama Nkechi and there's Mama Ngozi and there's Mama Bulu, and then all of them went to the university at the same time.
At the same time.
They all let me say they all studied the same course, and along the line, one person was fortunate to have gotten a job out of school. The other one probably went to serve somewhere and was retained. And the third one, in as much as he put his heart and mind to the job, wasn't still retained. Probably there was no vacancy. And then you come home, and then that's when it starts. See your mates. Your mates are doing this. Your mates are achieving that. You are here.
And it will now look as if it's your fault,
And
you
then
know?
eventually, this is emotional and psychological damage.
Yeah.
I think that's the most breaking of them all. My parents can, can say, you're not contributing, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. But the moment you place me on the same pedestal with someone else, we are different people. We have our different destinies.
Exactly.
Our fates are different.
Exactly.
You could find love. You could just go outside your house and then the beggar you might give someone something, maybe a beggar. Someone is in the car watching you, and then from there your love begins to shine.
True.
Some people have to toil and toil and toil for years before that big thing
Before,
comes.
exactly.
It's not as if everyone is hoping to toil for years, but then again,
It can happen.
it's just different strokes for different people. So you see that comparison of, and it puts you in a very, I don't want to use the word precarious again, but it puts you in a very tight corner because you're tired of hearing these comparisons, and then before you know it, you're pushed to think of what is the fastest way out of this.
Oh, that's true.
And then you begin to push a child out of the house who doesn't even have any plans yet. And probably if it's guys, I know guys, they don't have problem. They can be 10 living in a room. Even if 10 of them are there, they go out in the morning, come back at night, they share their pot of rice and they go to bed.
And no problem.
No problem.
No
But then
quarrels.
again, what is the progress with those people? They're just there. Some of them have left the house without any plans whatsoever because it's not just comfortable. Ah, if she sees my face in the morning, it's as if her body is biting her. Oh, my father doesn't call me, oh, my son anymore.
Oh.
It can be really heartbreaking.
Oh, I'm really feeling it right now. Okay.
And most of the time, the basic thing is, most of the time, it's just when these conflicts arise, it's just because to parents, my children are not fulfilling the expectation I have of them.
Okay.
But we already feel like we're disappointing you
Already.
So instead of you to be the constant reminder in our ear, you should be the one to uplift our spirits and make us know that it's only for the time being.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's still many issues, but it's just here and there, maybe staying out late. Oh, I'm already an adult. Why are you calling me by 10 to know where I am?
Oh.
This clothes you're wearing. Okay, should I wear something different when I'm at home and when I go out I wear something else? Because the truth is, I personally, the personality I have, I molded in the university.
Okay.
And I thank goodness for the kind of friends I have, the Catholic community I belong to. It puts me on the right track. But then again, we should also understand that there are people that fall off track as well.
Yes.
You win some, you lose some, basically. So sometimes we go to universities and come back totally different people. And our parents don't understand what happened to my child. And instead of you to do it in a loving manner
and bring back your
bring
child,
back your
to,
child
to
to
that
you.
right track.
Sometimes you'll be sleeping in the middle of the night. It's only water that is waking you up.
Yeah.
You're praying, casting and begging, no man.
Oh goodness.
So for me, it can be, we're laughing about it, but there are people that this is their story.
Yeah.
Is what it is. They say, mommy, or daddy, I need to talk to someone. They say, you're a man. Who do you need to talk to? Man. But sometimes we need that communication. We need to see a psychologist. We need religious counseling. We need to go to our priest. We need to go to our pastors, whoever, just so far as the person is truly someone who is a believer in the word of Christ. We need to talk to us. We need to have that discussion. But sometimes, the way you go about the problem is not the best way to go about it. So that's just it.
So, in a nutshell, parents should be more understanding to really should be. But you know that, like you said something about maybe when you go out, your parents will call you. There is this issue. As long as you're still under their roof, you still need to keep to that rule. You still need to do what they want.
Yes.
The only thing is that parents tend to. Some of them might go overbound, because of they still believe that you're still their little baby, you're still that little child. But as an adult child, you still need to be understanding, knowing that as long as you're under their roof, you have to adapt, try to walk around the rules they have in their house.
Pre-existing rule, and most of the time we grew up with those rules. Let me
Yeah.
not. It's not something we're going to deny now. We
Yes.
grew up with them. They were existing house rules. Okay, take for example. I know growing up, we used to have a rooster.
Mhm.
When it started day, my work as baby of the house was always to wash plates. Whether I like
Okay.
it
Or
or not,
not.
or I must wash plates. And then our firstborn, I saw he wasn't really doing much. And I would get angry, but along the line, I got to understand that Ngozi, when you were a baby, when you were a toddler, you were running around, scattering house as he was arranging. You did not know.
Okay.
So he grew out of those roles,
Mhm.
basically. So it's just, we have to understand that in as much as our parents are calling us at 10 p.m. at night, we feel like we're adults, it still comes from a place of love.
Yes.
Whatever they do
That
comes
is
from
it.
a place
Yes.
of love.
Like I said, no matter your age, you're still your mommy's baby. You're still your daddy's
Daddy's
baby.
baby.
No matter how old you think
Think you
you
are
are.
true.
So that's the understanding that she will still get there. Will still get to that. So is there any other problem that you think, any burning problem
Funny.
that you think that could arise?
Okay, I think another one could be, especially for the ladies, marriage.
Ooh, why that should be number one now?
Sometimes we have scale of problems. I
That
think
should be number
for
one.
the female folk is marriage. Is marriage, 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 marriage. Some of the times the marriage conversation comes in a loving way. Sometimes it comes in a worrisome way. Sometimes it comes in a way of, oh, you're occupying my space. Who are married and what your husband? But I know that marriage is, when will you get married? When you just do mistake, your cousin that's senior with 3 days gets
Gets
married.
married, you're in trouble.
They look at you with the corner of your eye. They are wine. What are you still doing?
Oh my goodness.
So and sometimes it pushes you, you go with the wrong person, and in fact, let's do away with how society has formed itself to be now that, oh, if you marry, you can get out of the marriage. It's supposed to be for life. It's
Yeah.
one man, one wife. And then you should try as much as possible to make the right choice. You can never be too sure, you can never be too certain. But whatever you do with the guidance of our Lord Jesus Christ, there is no way you can ever go wrong.
Exactly.
So, pushing someone, you just get married for the moment. There's some families that, Nigeria is making people strong. People that had before, what you had before, and even if you have the same
The
thing then
same
and now,
thing, they value.
your purchasing power has
Exactly. It has
drastically dropped.
reduced.
Yes. So sometimes, it's as if you're seeing the marriage as a way out for the family, and you're pushing this young lady, go and marry, go and marry, go and
It's
marry.
true.
And
I can even I really understand what you're saying. I had a friend then. Then I was married. We were mates. I think I was just a year older
Okay.
then. She by 27, she had not yet gotten married. I was already married with 2 kids. So she, at a point, because she was then staying with her parents, because of the pressure, she had to leave her parents to stay somewhere, to
else.
stay with me. Let's just take it that way. But at a point, she told me, see, Uche, the pressure is so much. If I see a cripple now, I will marry. If a blind man proposes to me, it's not as if they're not human beings, but you have to understand the extent of her
It has
frustration.
become so urgent.
Whoever comes to her, even if the person has a wife and wants to marry again, she will marry.
That's
Because of
standards
the
have
pressure.
dropped.
She had finished, she has graduated everything, and her mates, some of her mates are married, but the pressure from home couldn't keep her
She wouldn't
rational.
be sane anymore.
I'm telling
She
you,
wouldn't be sane anymore.
couldn't keep her rational. Like you said, it's true. That pressure on marriage can really, I don't know.
And there's this saying, my mom, she would always ring it in our ears, but she wouldn't say it in terms of marriage. She'll just tell you that whatever your mates are doing at that moment, follow them and do it, because if you miss it and they move forward, it takes you 6 years to catch up with them. And then I had to, if I had taken that expression, hook, line, and sinker, I would have misunderstood the message she was trying to pass across.
Okay.
Because at the point where she was making these statements, I think I was about in secondary school or 100 level. And I just got to understand that it means if your mates are attend class with them. If your mates are studying, study with them. Whatever your mates are doing to pass this certain stage in life, which all of you are on, which at this point is the stage you should be on,
Okay.
do it. But someone who could more or less
Misinterpret it.
misinterpret it and
Yes.
take it to be that, okay, everything my mates are doing now, I need to do it with them. So therefore, my mates are getting married. I must get married now. And then you begin to misinterpret and apply what your parents have advised you in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So, and it's as if maybe I'm on the side of the parents and I'm on the side of the children at the same time. But it's just what it is. And I think with this marriage issue, it's a volatile topic.
It is.
Very
It's true. It's even a topic of its
of
own.
its own.
It's a topic
But
of
it's
its
one,
own.
in fact, it's the major. You see marriage and then comparison and things like that. And then the fact that your kids want to talk to you, and because we have this, we Africans believe we're strong people. Why are we be having mental breakdown? You're an African, for crying out loud. Be strong, So I think it's just these are more or less the problems. That marriage, comparison, you know, the fact that you're still looking for a job and Nigeria is not helping you, and then you're not even getting the support back home and things like that.
All right, so we will get to that. We'll get to that. So let's take this musical break, and when we return, we talk more about a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them. Don't go anywhere. Oh, welcome back to Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. Well, it's time to open our phone line, so please call us on 081 084 47518. Again, 081 084 47518. You can send SMS or you send your messages via WhatsApp. We'll be hoping to hear from you. All right, so back to our topic, Barrister Ngozi Ochin. So what now is the path to harmony? Okay, we have a call on the line. Hello. Hello, how are you doing? Okay, we have lost that call. Please call back. All right, so what's the path to harmony now? How can harmony be achieved between parents and the adult child or children?
Okay, I think harmony, parents or no parents, let's just say harmony in general context.
Okay.
There has to be communication and deliberation.
Okay.
Because as there are two conflicting parties, the two parties have what they feel is not
All right, so Barrister Ngozi, let's hear you.
So as I was saying, communication, organic communication. Why do I use the word organic? Personally, I'm the kind of person that if I'm having a conversation with someone, there's no use for, let me just say this, degrading words, name callings, blame this one, you're shaming the person, maybe things you've opened up in confidence to talk about, they begin to bring it up and begin to use it against you. No. You don't come to a table, okay, for example, like in negotiation, in as much as you're coming to the table having what you want in mind, you're not coming to the table with, it must be my way or no way. You should be ready and willing to compromise. Because the truth is, most of the adult children are already feeling inadequate already. And that guilt is there. Like we want to help and then we're saying that we cannot. But you keep rubbing it in our face. And before you know it, that's where there's rebellion. You're talking to yourself. It's not me you're talking to, and we already feel we already feel bad as it is. So I believe strongly that it's for you to communicate. If there are things you expect of the child, you state, oh, my son or my daughter, okay, I would really honestly wish that you could assist a bit. If the rent is 1 million naira,
Okay.
even if you can, no matter how little it is, that is what you are expecting of the child. Instead of demanding it, like sometimes you might have it in your head and you're supposed to know, but the person doesn't know. So for me, it's you need to talk, you need to discuss. We should quit the mentality of I'm only responsible for what I say, not what you understand. We should, come to the table and talk about these things. For me, that's one of the ways to achieving harmony.
Okay, and I also want to add to that, parents on this, I think I'm on that side of parents, not on their side, but I'm on the other side, speaking from that perspective. Parents should learn how to listen to their children. Should learn how to listen actively to their children. That is one fault that parents are. That's one fault we have. You need to listen. Not because that is your child. You gave birth to that child. Then you now feel that he or she doesn't know anything. What does he know? What does she know?
What an adult sees sitting down.
Is in hand. You need to listen. That child has grown. You need to listen to that child. And the idea of using derogatory words should not be there. It should not be there. I have even thought of bringing up that topic, because thank God you even say something like that. Calling your child names. Assuming you call your child an idiot. Then what are you? What is that parent? Is that parent not a bigger idiot?
Because the truth is, if the world is against us, it's not our home that should be
against you. That should be the
comfort
safest
space
place for you, you know.
So aside from communicating, if there are already pre-existing rules in the household, take for example growing up 6 p.m. why are you going to throw those? My father will look at you. Gone are those, okay, for our generation, we that adults, our parents communicate with their eyes. There's a way they will look at you.
You will just
maintain. You know what you're talking about. So my father didn't have to. Where are you going to? What are you doing? Then 6 o'clock. You respect yourself. He say if you are a Roman, behave like the Roman.
Yeah.
So if you're already from that household where 6 p.m. is your curfew, just respect it. Be you 100 million years old, be you whatever years old, even if you're financially stable, just have that respect. And if you are going to be coming late, call. Hello, mommy. Hello, daddy. Something came up. I'm going to come a bit late today. I'm very sorry for the inconvenience. And that is almost an offshoot from communication. It still saves a lot of issues. Things wouldn't be. It wouldn't make things escalate. Let's even go down to chores. You feel like you're now grown. Why would you be the one washing plates and all? Sometimes we feel like you shouldn't treat us the way you treat our younger ones. There's this thing that we call, say, see finish. That's what we call it. Like, this one will not have respect for me anymore. Are you not seeing juniors doing assignments? Chuku, the guy and wash the plates, the guy and sweep the parlor.
Okay.
He'll be looking at himself like, see me, adults, graduates, but because they are not jobs, this is the way I'm being spoken to. So, we should understand these things and begin to, draw draw us home, because I'm detaching myself from this, and I'm inside it, like I'm there at the moment.
Okay.
So, we should find a way to bring us home, make us understand that we're here for you. If there is any way as a parent you can assist, you have friends, you talk to people, because most of us have applied for jobs, we don't even get called for interviews. It's as painful as that.
It's as bad as that.
And now they begin to tell you, oh, for each advert you see, you need to tweak your CV to a particular, and then they'll tell you, oh, there's already an inside job, or they've done internal recruitment, and then you keep on trying and trying. I have a cousin, Uncle Uche. When he graduated from, I think, University of Kaduna, I'm not too sure, I stand to be corrected, he came to Lagos. That shoe my uncle used to look for job. Hey God, the shoe bent. He was walking and walking and walking around Lagos. He had GMAT books, did different things. At a point, a microbiologist was even applying for a job in junior. He was like, walk now, walk, anything. And it was in that situation where my own godfather had to step in and be like, oh, I'm going to employ you. They did his interview in the house. So it's that kind of situation where I say, if parents can assist, if you have anybody, just liaise with us. You could ask us, oh, how did your interview go? How was it? It's not the end of the world. You'll be fine. Oh, let me talk to one or two of my friends. Even if it's something you get to do, so that, because sometimes sitting at home, you begin to have thoughts. They say an idle mind is the devil's workshop, and then you begin to, think things in your head, begin to build castles, and when it could just be a phone call, that would help. So instead of seeing it as it's a problem, why are you still at home? As much as you can, the little you could do, just help. If you're a believing family, you cannot do without prayers. If you pray together, I say a family that prays together stays together. So even if it's a special prayer session, maybe as a senior one in the home, you feel very embarrassed
Yeah.
about your junior ones praying,
Mhm.
oh, please give brother a job, give this one a job, and you don't want to. It's such a touchy subject where you cannot, as much as have it being discussed constantly, you and your parents can have that quiet time together. You could pray together, say your rosary, observe, the holy hour, anything you could do, go to the blessed sacrament. There's no
Well, it should be of for all, not just Christians
for
now.
Chris,
For
everybody,
Muslims, everybody should pray.
pray, because at this point we're fighting against principalities and powers that we cannot.
All right, so let's take this break now, and when we return, we still continue with this very, very exciting talk. Please do not touch that dial. Hello, welcome back to Radio Maria 91.3 FM, the voice of truth. We're still on Life Essential Talk, talking about a path to harmony for parents and their adult children living with them. So please be with us as we continue with this very, very interesting topic. So, Barrister Ngozi, let's look at what you said earlier about communication. I'm so because of that technical problem, most people didn't hear about that.
Okay.
Okay.
So when I spoke about communication, I came from the angle of, when you're looking for harmony,
Okay.
when you are trying to, in fact, let's put it this way, you're trying to negotiate for peace.
Yes.
Because everyone needs to settle and begin to work in one mind.
Okay.
You need to communicate. And when I say communicate, I don't mean come to the table having in mind that my way is the only way, that it is either my way or no way. You
Yes.
should understand that we are two different parties
Okay.
who have interpreted situations differently, who have outputs for those situations completely different from what yours is. And then you're trying, it's more or less like you're meeting me halfway. So it's for us to communicate and discuss. Mommy, daddy, what are your expectations of me? It's not a matter of he should know now. He's an adult now. He should know better. That's not
Yes.
it. Sometimes
And we like using those words. You should know now.
It's what's the word? It beholds you for you to understand that this is what should be done. But when really, like I had said before, we already feel bad. We're already, let's say we're already guilt ridden. We want to help, but then we cannot. So whatever it is you require, but you tell us, oh, Biko, um, maybe you could just chip in. Okay, the rent is this. You might not be able to assist with this. Okay, but can you be buying lights in the house?
Okay.
No matter how you can.
That is if you're working.
That's if you're
Yeah.
working.
Okay.
Whatever it is, just bring a little to the table.
Okay.
If that is what you expect.
All right. So hold on to that thought. There's a call on the line. Hello. Oh, we have lost that call again. What's going on? Please call us back. We would love to hear from you.
So, in terms of communication, I think it cannot be. In fact, nothing like it is overemphasized.
I heard him. You said it before. The comparison can be crazy.
It's never
It can be crazy, and it's never good, honestly.
it breaks down the self-esteem, because I think both of us have said it. Your home is supposed to be your safe space.
Yes.
It's meant to be your safe haven. There's this there's this slang now. You say if you do anyhow, you will see anyhow, you collect what. And it's, when the world has done this to us, we should have in mind, oh, I'm going home, oh, I'm going to see mommy, I'm going to see daddy. It's not the one that you're already thinking, they won't allow me drink water.
I'm fine. Oh, honest.
Hey.
You see, you're already discouraged to
Hey.
go home.
They will tell you, even ordinary bread, if you don't see bread to buy at the junction and they're coming back.
Oh God.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Sometimes they've had a tough day. Like Mr. Francis from the said, the lady has gone out, nothing to show for it, no job, nothing, and then
No
coming
husband.
home. That's when they would say, even if he's married, anyone, just bring
Just do something.
and it's really sad. It's painful.
It's
I
painful.
think it's painful. So, communication. Imagine that lady comes home now and she knows that I can talk to my mom. And then, even if maybe they didn't tell her no job, maybe she went, did the interview, and has come home. Instead of saying, nothing to show, you could be like, oh, my daughter will pray this night. Wake up in the middle of the night, you pray. If you're Muslim, you pray. You're Christian, you're Catholic, you pray. You
And
join.
you have
And
encouraged
you've
that
encouraged
child.
us. Okay, my
You have
daughter.
encouraged your
There's this
child.
lady. When I was looking for a job, I remember my mom called me to the room early in the morning after she finished saying her rosary. She said, "Are you fasting?" I said, "I want to start." She said, "Okay, I'll join you in fasting." That was enough. It was more than enough for me.
Mm.
So I fasted and I felt, even sometimes when I was praying during my fast, as if I was hearing voices by the side of my head,
Oh,
as if my mother is joining me in the fast. So you're more encouraged. So
it's
no
just
matter
you're
what the
being
world
encouraged.
wants to tell
Yes,
you, you're coming up, mommy, you didn't go out, you didn't work, but she says, don't worry, we've prayed, it's in the hands of God. You mean, what is
it's
yours is
true.
yours, what is yours is
Yes.
yours. So it's that, the fact that I can come and tell you, and see what happened, and then it is positive feedback. It's not, what did you do wrong? You did not do this interview well, or you didn't, they asked you a question you couldn't answer. Say, oh, my money has wasted. So that's just it. And then, after communication, I said, parents should liaise with their kids. If you're able to assist in any way whatsoever, if you have a friend you could call, because it's almost as if Nigeria is no longer a merit space. It's now based on who you know.
Who you know, the connection.
Connection. It's
So
not it's
yeah.
not as though as people don't get things on merit, but it's
Mm.
not like before. And we need to be honest and truthful to ourselves that it is what is obtainable now. So as much as parents can, even if it's that friend that you say you don't like the way the person walks, is always carrying shoulders, because her children are married, she feels she can come to women's meeting.
Oh, women and their problems.
Whatever it
Parents.
is, whatever it is,
It
just
is just
put it aside
aside
for
and do
for the
something.
greater good of your children. Because I know there are some people that are like, Daddy, you know this person. Call him.
Mhm.
Mommy, you know this person. Call them. And they're like, no, what they did to me in St. Gregory's College in 1975.
Okay, you keep on talking about parents, parents, parents. What about the adult
Adult
child?
child,
There are some adult children that are not even ready to go out there and look for any job.
which is very true.
They're not ready to do anything. They feel that some of them want to travel out. So everything is centered around traveling out.
Out.
They won't do anything
Anything, which
at
is very
all.
true. And first and foremost, we need to, if you're not truthful to yourself, there's no other person that can be truthful to you.
Mhm.
If your plan is to travel out and you've understood what you want to do, you set out your plans, you understand what it entails and what it takes. I don't think there is any parent who will have a child as such that will sit there and say, Mommy, that this is my plan. Nigeria is not favoring me, this is what I want to do. And you have a plan. And aside from having a plan, you have a track record. It's not the one that you come to the house, Daddy, I want to do DJ, they give you money, you do DJ, throw it away. I want to open business, they give you the money, you throw it away. You should have a track record of whatever this child says, he does.
Yeah.
So in that situation, you don't want to work. We call it Japa movement. That's what it's called now.
Okay.
You don't want to work, you want to leave, and then you set out your plans, your focus, your direction. And then I don't think there's any parents who, if it is within their means and their capacity, they won't do
That will
for
not
you.
help.
But then again, there's still some who are not just willing to help themselves.
Exactly.
And you say the good, you say the bad. There are those people that are there.
They are not willing to do
Some
anything.
of them have entitlement mentality.
That is it. Well, hold on to that. Let me remind callers of the number to call. Callers on 081 084 47518. 081 084 47518. That's the number to call. Okay, I like that. Entitlement. They
Some
have
of
that
them have the
sense of entitlement.
Let me say, take for example,
Mhm.
your father has a business. That's what he used to train you in school.
Okay.
Your parents are business tycoons, and you finish from the university. And your parents have the idea that you should go out and taste what the world has to offer first before you can come back and say, I want to work here. But some of them will say, no, why am I going to work when the money is readily here? No, now you wake up in the morning, you want to carry your parents' car and cruise, you want to, you know, it's down to your basic necessities. You eat in the house, you do everything in the house, and it is on their expense. You want to live a flashy life, and it's from your parents' pocket at that point in time. To be honest with you, I don't think I have an idea of how this kind of people can be dealt with, because it could be very heart wrenching for their parents.
It could be.
I will not come on air and tell you, oh, this is the way to go about that. But I recognize the fact that there are some people that are just entitled and, for lack of better words, very lazy, unmotivated. They don't want to do anything. They just want to live in the comfort the parents have given to
Given
them.
them.
And they're not thinking outside the box. They're not trying to even use the resources they have at hand to
That's not
build something for
exactly.
themselves.
Yeah.
Mommy, I want, I take. Daddy, I need, I
I
take.
take.
There's no. You're just waiting up until when I
True.
get married, they will settle me. They'll
That's
give me a lump sum.
exactly.
I don't need to work. If I need a car, there's a car. Oh, daddy buys the latest cars. I drive it.
See, and many youths, adult children are exactly like
Like
that.
that. True.
All right, we don't have time on our hands any longer. So quickly advise these adult children. Let's have your advice to them.
I think as much as you can, no matter how it might seem like it's a war zone, still draw close to your parents, because in the end, I don't think there's anyone who loves us as purely and as organically as the parents that brought us into this world. It can be confusing at times. Sometimes, we say it's tough love, or they don't understand, but in the end, I don't think any other person can understand us any better than those people. So as much as we should, or as much as we can, we should just try and communicate. You sit there, if you're an adult, I sit my mom, if my mom does something, I say, mommy, I don't even call her mommy. I call her Mrs. Ojim. That's if she has done something to me, or I feel offended by something she has done, whether by action or inaction, I'll say, Mrs. Ojim, I want to discuss with you. And because it's something I do for me to, I'm not disrespectful in it. She will sit down and we'll talk. And she tell me, oh, mom, no, that's not how I meant it to be.
Okay.
This is what I meant. However, the way I may have passed it across is not how I wanted to do it.
True.
And even my dad growing up, there are sometimes he would do something, you get angry. My father would call you and tell you, mom, sorry. It's not obtainable for a lot of people, but it made me understand that I could actually sit these people down and talk to them. If you're talking to them, be respectful in your
Respectful.
speech. Be respectful. You say, well, how can you know? How dare you know? Mommy, daddy, this thing happened to so and so day, and it made me feel really bad. The way you thought it to be was not the way I meant it to be. And whichever way it may have offended you, I'm sorry, but in the same way, this is how it made me feel. And I wish it could have gone this way. I wish you could have done it this way. I wish you could have passed across this for me. In fact, I wish as it had happened, maybe the conduct or the way I had done something, the moment it occurred, I wish you had put me on the right instead of piling up and then flaring up at me at some point or whatsoever. And then for those, you had mentioned there's some youths who don't want to do anything, and then I had even called them entitled. I feel like at this point, even we as children, we should stop the blame game. Sometimes we feel like because our parents are not even calling these people, even if they are and they're not getting positive response, they don't want to break you down the more, and then they just keep quiet about it. We should stop saying, "Oh, you're happy in where I am," or
Blaming
you're not,
everybody.
and even you're not moving. Some people have not even moved. Some people will leave the house and they're not going for any job interview. They're
Yeah.
even lying.
Yeah.
So you should just. That's why I said, if you're not being truthful to yourself, no one else can be
Can
truthful.
help you. Yeah.
And even the little progresses you make, as much as you can, communicate with your parents. You share your progress. Oh, this is what happened today. It didn't go so well. And then again, if you feel like psychologically it's beginning to take a toll on you, open up and speak up.
Exactly. And you'll be helped
You'll be helped
definitely.
definitely.
Okay, thank you so much, Barrister Ngozi Ochin, for this marvelous, exciting, interesting talk. I'm sure that had it been we had time on our hand, we would have talked and talked and talked. Also, dear listeners, thank you for staying with us. Thank you. So sorry for the technical hiccup we had earlier. So sorry about that. Barry Sangos, I hope when next I call you, you will definitely answer
Yes,
me.
definitely I will.
All right. So thank you for
Thank you.
everything.
You're welcome.
All right. So my very dear listeners, please, please, please don't get angry and say, no, they're not serious. Please, we are serious. You know, these things happen. This is Nigeria. All right, so we are done today. We have come to the end of this very exciting show, Life Essential Talk Show on Radio Maria 91.3 FM. We have another interesting topic on Wednesday, same time, same station. From Uche Chukwuma, I say good